Many countries do not, many community, within each country, climate change will be concrete, will have more, obviously, will be more resilient. But eventually, like 40 degrees came to Europe this summer, it will come to everyone. So my theme at COP27 was what goes on in Pakistan will not stay in Pakistan, because every ecosystem, especially through the oceans, is completely connected. It is completely connected and it cannot be separate. If one ecosystem fails, if there is a dead zone, there are 400 dead zones in the world's oceans today, and that is because of lack of oxygen within the ocean, then those dead zones will come to you too. And once those dead zones come to you, or the Gulf Stream, the historic Gulf Stream, which from ancient times has been regulating planetary seasons, starts slowing down. It's called the conveyor belt. The Gulf Stream is called the conveyor belt. The ocean is a conveyor belt for streams that then regulate your seasons. Once those start slowing down, let alone marine life, then you will have a real crisis, and many countries will wake up and ask, oh, what are we supposed to do about it? Well, the science is right there, and it's telling you what to do. It's telling you to stop consuming the way we used to, which will bring me to my favorite theme, microplastics, and how that is choking all our oceans. This year, 2021, last year, we had 139 million metric tons, not Pakistan, the whole world, of microplastics choking the ocean. All of marine life is now ingesting it. It is landing up in your dinner plates now. It is. And what is happening is a cycle called a tipping point. A tipping point is being reached in the ocean. People are all talking about how there will be more plastics in the sea than fish. That's not at the end of the century. That is 2050. So 2050 is when your children will still be alive. And for us, the choking of the ocean, the warming of the ocean, I'll just say in plain words, this business of acidification. What is this? It arises because the ocean is warming, and 90% of the planet is controlled. The seasons, the tides, 1/5 of protein that we eat is controlled by the ocean. But most dangerously, and people don't realize, this is why I say what goes on in one ecosystem will go into the other. The most dangerous thing is the melting Arctic and the melting glaciers. Because once the Arctic is no longer ice, and today's reports tell us it won't be, then the jet stream that reflects sunlight back to the sun, all that ice reflects sunlight back to the sun. And our oceans have been absorbing 90% of our own emissions, the sun's warming, our global warming, for the last 50 years. For the last 50 years, it is our oceans that have been the carbon sinks. History, civilizations have used oceans for conquests and for commerce. But now, the most valid and important metric of judging what the ocean does is its ability to be a carbon sink. And right now, its health as a carbon sink, its sustainability as a carbon sink, its operation as the vector of a blue economy that can make commerce sustainable, is under severe shock and threat. So we can have conferences, we can talk about this, because without talking about it, there is no knowledge dispersion. Without no knowledge dispersion, there is no action. But action has to be real, and it has to mean something, and it must start from the top. Why do I say this? Because those who are empowered are always better prepared, better resilient, have resources. So it's incumbent on all of us in this room to start at the top. There should be no more plastic bottles here. We can afford glass bottles, it's cumbersome, but entire generations used to do it in the 70s. I'm 62 years old, I remember how to drink out of non-plastic bottles. So we will all have to remember how to do that. My office is not allowed to use it, neither is the Senate, none of its committees, none of my offices. Very soon the government of Pakistan will also not. It is very hard to regulate plastics. The recycling industry is telling you that they're recycling 30% of it. I do not believe them for 1 minute, because it is less than 10%. The world is recycling less than 10%. And I mentioned the 139 million metric tons figure because it is growing higher and higher every year. And it is virgin polymer, virgin plastics, not recycled, not anything but single-use plastic. Know your enemy. If there was an extinction event and somebody landed from Mars, like there was during the dinosaur age, and we are facing an extinction event. It's slow and we don't realize it. But all they would see as a legacy of human civilization is plastics. They would see plastics choking our oceans, our waterways, landfills, our homes, our terrain, and of course, destroying our sea. The sea is the origin of much life. And it is the ground, it is the mother of all finite resources.